Thebes, Megara, Athens, Salamis, Corinth, Olympia, Ionian Sea, Peloponnese, Sparta, Aegean Sea. Under Pericles, the rule of Athens, the Delian League became more like a dictatorship than a partnership. City-states that wanted to leave the league were not allowed to do so and were viewed as traitors. In one instance, Athens attacked Thasos, an island off the northeast coast of Greece, to teach them a lesson. Their warships were confiscated and their defenses torn down in an attempt to get Thasos to join the Delian League. The Spartans, leaders of their own military alliance, called the Spartan Alliance, or Peloponnesian League, didn't like how bold the Athenians had become. Athens and Sparta didn't always see eye to eye. They had a healthy respect for each other, but they were what we might call rivals today. Two of the biggest and most influential city-states, they each had a large army. Even so, they managed to live peacefully as neighbors for a long time. Under the rule of Pericles, things changed. The Delian League became more like an Athenian empire. When Athens forced Megara, a city-state directly between Sparta and Athens, into the Delian League, Spartans became very uneasy. Words to know. Spartan, someone from Sparta. The word has come to mean simplicity, avoidance of comfort and luxury, and strict self-discipline. Peloponnesian League, a military alliance of Greek city-states dominated by Sparta. Pericles. Legendary Greeks. Achilles. Achilles was born to a sea nymph named Thetis. Certain that Achilles was destined for greatness, but worried for her son's safety, as most mothers would be, Thetis took a precaution. She dipped baby Achilles into the river Styx to protect him from wounds. But as she dipped the baby, one part of his tiny body remained dry, his heel. Under the care of the centaur Chiron, Achilles learned to be brave, to ride horses, and to hunt. Greece was preparing to go to battle with Troy, and the Greek army knew they needed Achilles in order to win the battle. After all, it had been prophesied that without Achilles the Greeks could not win. Thetis had heard the prophecy too and took it upon herself to hide Achilles. She dressed him up as a girl and sent him to a faraway town. But clever Odysseus sent a gift to the girl, and when she expertly took up the spear and shield, she was recognized as Achilles and led off to the battlefield. In the final year of the war, Achilles killed Hector, the prince of Troy. While dying, Hector swore that Achilles would die at the hands of Paris. He was right. Paris fired an arrow and hit Achilles directly in the heel. This was the one part of his body that didn't have the protection of the river Styx, and the wound killed him. The expansion of Athens into Megara sparked one of the first clashes between Athens and Sparta in 457 BCE. When Megara revolted in 446 BCE, Athens lost a buffer between itself and Sparta, meaning the Spartan army could appear at any time. Fighting between Athens and Sparta became common, but Athenians felt safe in their walled city, and a truce in 445 BCE brought some peace between the two powerful city-states. By 433 BCE, the two powers were again provoking each other, and it didn't take long before outright war broke out. The women of Sparta. Unlike girls in most Greek city-states, Spartan girls and women were encouraged to exercise and compete in athletic events. It was thought that a strong, athletic woman would give birth to healthier children, and healthy boys in particular made Spartans happy. What was different about the Peloponnesian War? Alexander the Great. Despite the power of the Athenian navy, Pericles knew that Athens was no match for Spartan warriors. He kept his people safe within the walls of Athens and let those remaining outside the city walls battle Sparta. He was content to let the Spartan warriors wear themselves out in campaigns that made little difference in order to save the lives of the many citizens sheltering inside the city walls. While there were losses outside the city's gates, they paled in comparison to the losses that Athenians might have seen had they not taken refuge within the city. But Pericles hadn't counted on a plague. Illness in Athens killed many citizens, including Pericles himself. The new Athenian rulers had different ideas. They left the safety of the walled city and attacked the Spartan warriors. The Peloponnesian War was an on-again, off-again war pitting Athens against Sparta in many different battles over many years. Sparta finally won the war in 404 BCE. The Athenian naval fleet was destroyed, preventing them from reaching their source of grain across the Black Sea, and Athens starved. The Spartans demanded that Athens submit to rule by Sparta, tear down their defensive walls, and hand over all but 12 of their ships. While Sparta may have conquered Athens, after such a long and grueling war, Sparta's army was also much diminished. Neither Athens nor Sparta ever returned to the power and fame they once knew, and both slowly declined over the following century.